Hello, everybody. Jess Lohse with another weekly update from the Structural Building Components Association, SBCA. First and foremost, happy birthday to John Arney on our staff. That happened this last Monday. I think I talked about it last week, but wanted to make sure we got that in. Next week, we got another one coming up. We won't talk about that, though, but those things do happen. And when you work for SBCA, it's like every day is your birthday. So with that, a couple things coming up next week, a couple of chapter meetups. Those are just where we're trying to get people from a geography to see if we can reactivate one of our chapters, or they've kind of gone into disrepair, just inactivity, those sort of things. So Indiana on Monday, if you're seeing this between now and Monday, go ahead and hopefully, I think we got 10 or 12 people signed up for that one, so I've got some hope there. Montana next Friday, need some of my Montana peeps to join in there. I think we got 2 or 3 right now, but nice to see that chapter up and going as well. Seeing how that's how I got my start with SBCA, was with that chapter, so we'll see what we can do there. Beyond that, we have an actual chapter meeting coming up February 22nd for the Georgia chapter. Exciting things happening in Georgia. That was one of them that we were worried we were going to lose, that was inactive, that we've actually brought full circle to where got some really good engaged people there. So thank you for all that. Another thing I want to talk about, Innovative Housing Showcase. We've done this the last couple of years with HUD and NHB. They have kind of a showcase on the National Mall where we've built a house, framed it in, put this sheathing on it. And we've got other partners there as far as, modular and concrete and other things. But really, I think the star attraction for our eyes has been that house. Well, we're looking at what do we do with that structure once it has been built and we take it down? It needs to leave the National Mall. It can't be there forever. Where does it go? We're looking for ideas. So if you've got something there, we've got an application process. We're looking to give away a house. Where can we go with that? So, that's one of the things that we are working on with that. We've had a few people reach out wanting to donate some hangers or some connectors as well as some panels. So I'll be reaching out to those folks once we kind of get an idea of where we're going to go with it to make sure it can actually happen. Because that's one of those things. If we don't have a place for it to go long term, it's kind of like, what do we do with it up between now and then? So, we're looking into that. That's going to be June 7th through 11th. So the Innovative Housing Showcase, we're going to be there one way or another. It might just be a tent and we'll, be talking about it. But I would prefer to build the house and then tear it down, take it somewhere else and put it up. So again, looking to give away a house or provide it for very low cost. Beyond that, NHB is going to be having a legislative day that same week on the 12th. I think that's a Wednesday. So we're looking at seeing if we can get some CMs in there on the 11th, go through the house, maybe take some builders through there. Not going to be a big organized thing, but it's going to be there and available. But then also the 12th, we've had legislative sessions in years past. And I'm talking, several years past. We've been kicking it around, seeing if we can bring it back. Well, if we can piggyback on with NHB's effort, that's one of the things that we're looking at doing and bringing those folks in there. Anybody that's interested in seeing what we can do to start our legislative efforts again in DC, not just at the local level, but on the national level to do that as well. So looking at that, thinking about it. If you're interested, reach out either to myself. You can also reach out to Sean Shields on our staff or even Christine Wagner. We're going to be talking about that and getting some things going with our advocacy committee there. So really appreciate Rick and Cheryl's support on that as well from our advocacy committee. Beyond that, staffing update, we've filled a couple positions. We will kind of do the unveil here probably in another week and a half. But the education director, we've selected a person, really excited about her. I think she's going to bring a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, a lot of just to our education committee. So I'm excited about that, as well as our executive assistant position. We've got some things happening behind the scenes where we're going to be moving some people around. So people already named in this are going to be moving to some different positions. So excited about that. We will be talking about that here in the next couple weeks as we were able to make those transitions. And then also director of business development. It kind of changes from a sales to business development. It's more about managing the relationships with the year-over-year exhibitors, advertisers in the magazine, as well as trying to bring in some new members for both our associate, but our CM, and then also our framer. So really the title allowed us to make it a little bit more attractive to the applicant pool. We've got several, not like hundreds like we've had in other positions, but we've probably got 30, 40 with some people in there that I think are some strong candidates. I'm going to start that process of actually later today talking with them, kind of do the quick introduction, like, hey, this is who we are. You have any questions? Do we have any questions? Okay, let's set up the formal interview next week or a week after, just to try to get that process going. But it allows us to let them know that we're interested early on and make sure that they're aware of our process and kind of what we're about. Beyond that, next week, also going to be having the BCMC committee site visit in Milwaukee. We're going to Milwaukee this year. So look forward to that. I like that committee. I served on it when I was a CM. It's one of the most fun ones because it's kind of that smaller group, but you get a lot of good stuff done and you're on a deadline. BCMC is coming October 7th through 11th, whether we like it or not. So you got to get the work done. So looking forward to that. Ali's worked up a good agenda there. Looking forward to seeing everybody on the committee there. Also, SBCA Launchpad, it is taken off. It is starting. I just saw an email from Molly kind of announcing it for the year. We've got some people that we're going to approach with that have been coming to OQMs, as well as a good group there. So those efforts are continuing, and really excited about that. Some really cool stuff happening on all levels of SBCA, even some other things that I haven't been able to get to. I know I'm over my 5 minutes. I did want to say one thing about past president, Dan Holland. He passed away last week. I think most people have probably already heard. Lost a good one there. Dan did a lot of great things for the association. I really admired his work, and I always, as I was up and coming, kind of doing my own launchpad thing or just understanding SBCA, would always try to sit next to Dan. He had so many good thoughts and ideas, and just really, I admired the way that he could listen to conversation in a board meeting or in a committee meeting for several minutes and then make one comment in his soft, really, well thought out way, and it would pivot everybody's thinking. And those people don't come around too often. We've got a few of them still in our association or organization, but really going to miss Dan. Hadn't been involved in the last few years, and I feel bad about that. But he was really one of the early advocates, the advocate for BCMC build, which really allowed us to get into that and really bringing the industry together when we were really in a downturn as an industry, and people just, gave us that reason. So Dan, I'm going to miss him, all of his contributions. SBCA would not be what it is today without him. He was a really major part of it. So again, condolences to Dan's family, everybody that he worked with, all of his friends, everybody in the association that was closely tied with Dan. I'm really going to miss him. But overall, that's where you got to appreciate what you've got when you've got it. And that's where a lot of SBCA is right now. We appreciated Dan, but we also appreciate everybody who comes to our meetings, that engages and does all the different things for our association. Really, as a community, really appreciate everybody in the association. And looking forward to seeing all of those that are going to be coming up at our OQM in March, and we will talk more about it then. But sorry to end it on a downer, but SBCA, a lot of great things going on, and that's because of people like Dan that came before us. So really tell that next week. I'll be on the road, probably coming home from that BCMC site visit. Maybe we'll do a little sneak peek about what the situation is going to be there in Milwaukee. But yeah, till then, peaks up, press on, and we'll talk to you later.